Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with another best team in Dragon Ball Legends video for you all, where I go through the best teams to run in PvP at this current time in Dragon Ball Legends. It's been about 3 weeks, a little less than 3 weeks since I had made my last one, and people seem to enjoy it, seem to be helpful, so we're back with another one. Of course, the big changes since the last one are we got Ultra Super Vegito, and then the androids, 17 and 18, Android 17 and 18, are no longer on the featured boost tier. Which, if you didn't know, units are categorized in these boost tiers. You can see there's the featured, Z, S, A, B, C, and they all have different levels to what they boost. The featured tier is specifically just for units that just came out or just got a Zenkai. That's why you see all new units here, or units that just got Zenkai. And the androids have finally come out of that, as they're no longer new enough to be part of the featured tier list. And you may be wondering, you may not know, what is the featured boost? Like, what does it give you? What are the, like, stat bonuses that you get from being in the featured boost tier? So if you click boost information here, one, you can see it for all the tiers. Tier C, you get no boost. And tier C is the units that are used the most, like the most commonly seen. That's what they put there. The whole goal of the system was to try and get units who are not used as often, which are normally units that are worse. And, you know, obviously if they're not good, people aren't going to run you. So they wanted to try and make those better. But the featured boost here is what the androids were in for their entire life up to this point. So they had an extra 20% damage inflicted and 15% to strike and blast defense, since they're not a Zenkai Awakened character in the featured boost tier. So what does that mean? Well, now, for this point going forward, they no longer have that extra 20% to inflict the damage up, and they no longer have that extra defense for strike and blast. 15%. So they hit slightly less. Like, they don't hit quite as hard, and they don't tank quite as well. I'm not saying they're bad. The androids are still arguably the best unit in the game. They're insane still. So don't think I'm trying to say, oh, they suck now. They don't suck. I'm not saying that. They're just quite not as good as they were. It's a fact. Mathematically, they are not as good. So that's what I wanted to point out with that. But let's get into the best teams for you to run. I will list off a handful of the best teams in the game. There's kind of like 2 different tiers I'm going to put it into for this video. There's the top tier, and then there's the second tier of teams, which aren't quite necessarily as good as the top tier I'm going to mention first, but you can still definitely snag wins with the other tier and do work. And I know there will probably be some person in the comments who's like, oh, I run my blue pan and collect W's. Great, but that's not the point of this. It's to show you the best teams. Like, you could win with Hero Jocko if you really were good enough and your opponent never got to touch you. But, you know, no. So, let's get into this. And as I showed in the last video, if you're ever wondering what are the best players in the game using, what teams are they running, you can click the little golden eye here that I'm tapping on my screen. It's right next to ranking. You click that, and it'll take you to this screen, which will show you the top 1,000 players in Dragon Ball Legends. The top 1,000 players in the entire world in the game. Now, the season just began yesterday, and at the very start of the season, some of the best players aren't necessarily grinding yet. They haven't put in the effort, so they're not at the top here. Like, if we look at this person, I have no idea who this person is. There's also people at the beginning of the season who love to DC hack to get lots of RP. Like, they don't actually fight you. As soon as the match begins, there's not even like a lag thing. It's just an instant DC, and they fight your bot and collect CC. But this team is currently in rank 1. I would not tell you to run this team. This team is not that great, so I'm just going to let you know that right now. But as we get a couple days into the season, you will see the normal top players get to the top of the list and see the teams that they're running. But I want to start out with my number 1 team. I'm sure it could be argued. For sure it could be argued. But personally, my feelings that this is the best team right now is, we'll check Billy here. Billy is always a top-ranking player. Has got rank 1 before. And as you can see here, he's got movies. He's got a movies squad going on. And movies is just, it's so good right now. It is so good. Of course, we just got the Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist banner. It's still out. You can still summon on it. And it's a movies-focused banner because it's around movies characters. And then you add in the fact that there's Ultra Super Vegito, who is arguably top 2, top 3 units in the game. Absolute animal. Ultra Super Vegito, have him in the leader slot. Then he's got Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist Goku. He's got Revival Gohan, who is probably one of the only 2 good revival units in the game right now. because revival is useful, because if you get rushed, well, hey, you throw out that first life. Oh, well, your unit's back now and even better than they were before. I'd say him and the blue revival Frieza are like the only good ones. Revival Cell is really only good for reviving. Like, he's not very good otherwise. Like, what you get from Revival Cell is the fact that he will revive at some point during the match. Unless you get hit by Blue Beerus, but Blue Beerus has ran that often. So, yeah, Revival Gohan can still absolutely clap with that blue card. It can deal so much damage. Billies, I've seen Billies, I've fought Billies. Billies can absolutely decimate you. But that's the case with all of them. It's not like Billy has a special one, you know. He just has, like, the best equips, 14 stars and stuff. But you get him ramped up, you can put in work. Then, of course, Tapion there, great support. Lock your opponent's cards. You can swap him in anytime when your opponent rushes to have him die, and then he will hit them with his death mechanic that deals damage to the opposing team. AoE death, you know, death damage. So, with just, like, the variety of colors here, the only thing they're really missing is a solid red, but that's not necessarily needed. I'd like movies at the top. You want to try and save Ultra Super Vegito for last man. Absolute, he's an animal. Type neutrality, he can even beat up green units. Absolute just animal. Another thing while we're here is if you're wondering what equipment are these people running on their teams, like what are the best equipments for the units they're running, you can click the check equipment button here and it'll show you the equips. Now, a lot of time they're going to have them all Z+, so keep that in mind, but it shows you what equips they're running on what characters, so you can have an idea of what, you know, maybe you should put on your characters to try and get the most out of them. Because there are a lot of people that find good combos that can deal a lot of damage, tank really well, so always cool to look at what other people have. But I think I'd probably put movies at the top, you know, assuming you have those units, assuming you have... You don't have to have them 14 stars. Obviously, it helps if you do, but you don't have to have that. It's just Billy has them all that. But yeah, if you have Ultra Super Vegito, you have Dragon Fist. Even if you only have, like, 3 of these 4, you can run a very solid team. I fought Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist, Gohan, and Tapion. I faced people who didn't have Ultra Super Vegito or just didn't bring him. And those 3 still put in absolute work. Can be a phenomenal trio. So, very solid team there. The next best team that I would mention is probably the team I run or a variation of it, which would be Fusion Warriors, specifically Yellow, Blue, Blue. Mine, as you can see, we've got Ultra Super Vegito, Ultra Super Gogeta, and then Zenkai LF Vegito Blue there. The reason VB is actually pretty useful right now is for the fact that lots of people are running Ultra Super Gogeta, whether it's in a Fusions team, whether it's in the movies team I just showed you, or they just have him leader slotted on another squad. He's there a lot of the time. Same with Ultra Super Vegito. Obviously, he's the newest unit, so lots of people are running him. And VB does extra damage to Fusions, so super helpful. I know one thing I get asked a lot is, because I don't normally run LF Super Vegito. Like, he's on the team there, but I don't normally bring him. And so people are like, oh, yellow, blue, blue, what if they bring a green? You don't really have, like, a unit that directly counters that. And that's true, but Yellow Super Vegito can normally handle the job himself, can tank very, very solidly, and then can deal the damage to definitely kill them. Even if they keep their green unit away from Ultra Super Vegito, Ultra Super Gogeta can go type neutral. Literally just can shred the green unit then. VB's ults can still hit very hard against green units, especially if they're running Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, since he's a fusions. VB does extra damage to fusions, but his ults, as you can see, minus 100% to enemy sustained damage cut effects. It'll still hurt the green units. I've used it against green units. It still takes a good chunk of their damage. Obviously not as much as if he did it against any other color, but it still can do some nice work and can very definitely kill some units. So I'd say this, other variations of Fusion Warrior you could run yellow, blue, purple with LF Super Vegito. He's still a very solid unit. Can absolutely clap Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist if you're having a problem with Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist. LF Super Vegito can definitely come in and body that man. I've done it a number of times. Yellow, blue, purple, or if we pull up all the Fusion Warriors here, you can run a yellow, blue, green with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, assuming you have his plat equip. Make sure you have his plat equip. But you could run Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta in there. You could even run a blue, purple, green if you wanted. That wouldn't be the worst. It wouldn't be as good. Or a yellow, purple, green. Again, if you're missing some of these units, you know, there's ways to get around it. But I would say if you're running the Fusions team, you want to have Super Vegito, Super Gogeta, Vegito Blue, LF Super Vegito, or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as the units you're bringing. That's like the pinnacle, the prime setup. And then what you want to do for your bench, like I have 2 blue Zenkais here, since they buff blue Saiyans, so they're double Zenkai buff for Ultra Super Gogeta. And then VB technically is triple because he buffs himself with his own Zenkai, but yeah. So that's why I have that. And then I have Super Vegito there, just for, if like they're running a lot of greens, I could decide to bring him. And at 14 stars, Super Vegito has 12% to max base health for the team as his Z ability bonus. So, helpful. And the fact that having another Fusion Warrior on the bench helps Ultra Gogeta with his, you know, Ultra ability, since it's based on how many Fusion members you have in the team. You could even decide not to give these, not bring Bardock or Super Saiyan Goku if you wanted to, and put in 2 other Fusion units there to, you know, give that boost to Gogeta if you wanted to have him have his max Ultra ability. But it's just something to think about. Another top team that you don't quite see as often anymore, since people are running like yellow, blue, blue like I am. And it's a problem when you fight yellow, blue, blue with this team, since it's like a direct counter. But another team here is, if I go to my photos here, we have the good old red, red, purple that you've been seeing since MUI came out. Of course, with the androids, MUI and Whis. I think this is a picture of Virgil's team a little while ago that he posted on Twitter. I think that's where I got this photo. I kept it, though, because I knew I was going to make one of these videos soon, and I don't have the androids, so I can't show you my red, red, purple team, because I can't make it. But still very solid. Again, the androids are still very good. MUI, as annoying as ever, he can just sit in the back and just really take time. He can help you get your sub counts, you know, help you run through the sub count, because you just float to the back, like I swear everyone in this game does. It's super annoying to fight against. But yes, MUI can be very effective that way. He also has, I believe, minus 100% to damage, sustained damage cut effects on his ult, just like VB. Whis giving all the green cards, being unable to be cover changed is super nice. And yeah, I mean, when you have green cards for MUI and the droids, like, that just helps MUI keep his gauge up and helps the droids not be able to be cover changed. So they can still absolutely put in work in this team with red, red, purple. Of course, against the yellow, blue, blue team I just showed you, it's like a direct counter, because if you swap to the Android 18 side, she then can get absolutely clapped by Ultra Super Vegito, as can Whis. And if you have it on the Android 17 side, Android 17 and MUI can both get absolutely shredded by Super Gogeta and VB. And then also, Ultra Super Vegito, once you lose a teammate, his ult gains the ability to nullify typing. So he becomes type neutral with his ult. So he can absolutely obliterate MUI or Android 17 with that ult after he's lost at least a single teammate. Also, his green card nullifies type neutrality for 5 timer counts. So he can deal damage in that time too. But red, red, purple, I still say would be a very solid team you can run, and one that can still be very effective. So if we hop back into the game, another team that I'd mentioned, let me see if I can find it here, would be it's like a Sun Fam team with Tapion in the leader slot. Because the main units you run are Yellow Tapion, the new Yellow Tapion in the leader slot, MUI Goku, Super Saiyan 3, Dragon Fist Goku as your other 2 like battle units, and then the bench normally is Zenkai buffs for the Goku Sun Fam. You can have the LF Super Saiyan Gohan, him and his Zenkai, since he Zenkai buffs Red Sun Family, and then his Z ability buffs Sun Family. You can have him on the bench. You can have Super Saiyan LF Zenkai Super Saiyan 3 Goku on the bench to Zenkai buff the Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist Goku. Things like that. I don't quite remember who's running it. That's not it. That's close. I know someone here had it, but I'm not entirely sure which person was running it, since, you know, it's, yeah. But that is another very solid team. Of course, Tapion with the support, MUI with his universal cover change, being able to float, sit in the back, Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist being a green, super helpful. Like, that team is also great because you have a very strong red unit and green unit to counter Super Gogeta and Super Vegito, who are running around all the time, who are yellow and blue. So you have a counter for that. And then Tapion provides excellent support, his death, you know, all that good stuff that Tapion does that I mentioned earlier in the video. And I would probably say that those are like the top tier teams in the game. Some other teams you can run would be LOE. LOE can still absolutely put in work. You can run LF Full Power Frieza, Revival Frieza. I'd say you should probably run. Very, very helpful unit for when you're running LOE. The Zenkai First Form Pod Frieza. Give your team lots of blue cards. He's not in this person's team, but the Green Angel Golden Frieza, who came out with, you know, the new purple Whis. Very, very, very good unit, especially against Super Gogeta or blue units in general, you know, those blue Saiyans. He absolutely can shred them and just causes so many problems. Of course, LOE in its entirety has the whole ability to take Dragon Balls from your opponent. Super, super nice ability there. Shields can be very helpful if you're fighting people that are running Bardock. You know, Zenkai Bardock with his crit buffs. Shields can be very helpful. And that reminds me, another team, and I'd probably put it in the same, like, second tier here with the LOE, would be if they're running a Super Saiyan squad of yellow, blue, blue Super Saiyans. It's effectively the same as this team here that I have, but instead of running Super Vegito, Super Gogeta, and VB, they run Bardock, Super Vegito, and Super Gogeta. Bardock gives the crit buffs to Super Vegito and Super Gogeta. They deal more damage and all that good stuff you get from the crit buffs. Bardock is just there then to basically supply the crit buffs. If you rush someone who's running Bardock, Super Vegito, and Super Gogeta, they're going to throw Bardock at the rush to have him die. He's the least important of the three. His only job is to provide, you know, the support crit buffs and stuff for the other two. So, or they could throw Super Vegito out unless you're rushing with, like, the androids or someone who nullifies, you know, endurance. Then they won't throw... I hope they won't throw Super Vegito out. But you see things in this game. You truly do see things in this game. But, yeah. I'd say that's probably my, like, top, what I mentioned, 5 teams there. Probably, like, the top 5 teams in the game right now. With the movies squad being at the top. Then Fusions. Then probably Red, Red, Purple still. And then kind of in, like, a slightly below tier, LOE and Yellow, Blue, Blue, but Super Saiyans, Yellow, Blue, Blue, with Crit Bardock. Feel free to let me know if you think I missed any teams in the comments down below. Entirely possible. It didn't pop into my brain when I was thinking of the teams. But yeah, let me know what team you're rocking. If you need any help trying to think of team ideas, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try and help you out the best I can. But I hope this video helps you out. I hope this video helps you get more wins in PvP, helps you better build your team. I should mention, when you're building a team, you probably want to bring 3 or 4 units that you're actually going to bring into battle, and then the 2 to 3 units that you aren't going to bring to battle, just make them... They don't have to be, like, good... Like, their only effective purpose would be to boost the rest of the team. Like how I have with this team. I don't even have equips on Super Saiyan, Namek, Goku, or Bardock because I'm never going to bring them into battle. And I'm probably not going to bring Super Vegito into battle either. But there's a chance I could bring Super Vegito. But they're there just because they supply Zenkai buffs to the rest of the team. You want to fill your bench out for the units that aren't going to go into battle with units that Zenkai buff the units you are going to bring into battle, or supply things like max base health. Like a great max base health buffer would be this Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks for fusions, for example, you know? And there are other ones for other tags. And you can see, like, if you're looking for a specific Z ability, you can click Zenkai ability, you know, select what tag. You're looking for a unit that buffs girls, that buffs max base health. Well, bam. It shows you who does that. She buffs future or girls max base health. You can do that for any tag. I just chose girls with max base health to give you an example. So that should help you out. again, hope this video helps you all out. Hope you can collect some more W's, rank a little higher in PvP, get some more CC, and have more fun. Because that's the goal of a video game. That's the goal of life, really, is to have fun and enjoy it. So I hope this helps you guys out. If it did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Don't forget that bell for notifications. Don't forget to go follow me over on my Twitch for live streams basically every day. And, yeah, I hope y'all are staying happy and healthy, having the best of days. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow.